WWE advertisements suggest a number of top names will be switching brands in the upcoming draft. WWE.comWWE will host its 2019 draft in just a few weeks, and if advertisements are any indication, both Raw and SmackDown are in store for some drastic changes. The first WWE draft since 2016 will take place on the October 11th edition of SmackDown, which will be the Blue brand's second episode after its big move to Fox, and the October 14th episode of Raw. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer HT Cage-Side Seats reports the WWE's aim is to present the upcoming draft as a legitimate sports draft, and also says that NXT, which began airing on USA Network just this week, could also be involved in the draft in some capacity. At least initially, it was said that WWE would not be making significant changes to the rosters for Raw and SmackDown. However, a recent photo shoot for SmackDown's big switch to Fox featured a handful of interesting names, including some of the biggest names who are currently members of the Raw roster. The notable names were Alexa Bliss, Rey Mysterio, The Miz, and perhaps the biggest name of all, Becky Lynch. With indications being that WWE wasn't going to reinvent the wheel with its 2019 draft, it's certainly noteworthy that perhaps the most popular performer in WWE, Lynch, is only one blockbuster name who could be jumping ship. Of course, the man isn't the only Red brand star who might be on the move. In addition to Miz, Mysterio and Bliss, Brock Lesnar, who just ignited a WWE title feud with Kofi Kingston, has also been advertised for SmackDown shows into November, and a permanent switch for The Beast would be a logical move given Lesnar's ties with UFC, which once called Fox its home before moving over to ESPN. Mysterio has also been advertised for SmackDown in the past, as has John Cena. At this point, Cena is an infrequently seen part-time performer, though, so it's unlikely that WWE has plans to use him as a regular performer on the show and would instead just utilize him to help draw in fans to SmackDown on its new home. Whether Miz, Bliss and Lynch will really be on the move isn't clear either. Lynch may ultimately drop the Raw Women's Championship to Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell, but it was only earlier this year that she made the official move to Raw after being exclusive to SmackDown since 2016. Likewise, The Miz would seemingly stay put on Raw given that he's featured in a reality show, Miz and Mrs. that airs on USA Network, but as one of the most recognizable names and biggest mainstream stars in all of WWE, perhaps the company wants to utilize his star power to bring fans to the Blue brand as well. As for Mysterio, he's spent much of his career as a SmackDown guy, and is viewed as someone who could be a major draw for Fox's Hispanic viewing audience. But if WWE is going to send 5 or more major Raw stars to SmackDown, the Red brand will need to get something in return. Exactly how many stars WWE will head to Raw, though, is up for debate. It's no secret that SmackDown on Fox will instantly become WWE's No. 1 brand because it's expected to have a larger viewing audience than Raw moving forward. That's been evidenced by the reported changes that will be made to the announced teams for both shows. While USA Network already knows what it has with Raw, which has long been one of the cornerstones of its programming, Fox isn't quite as certain what it has with SmackDown, even though it broke the bank with a landmark TV deal to have the rights to be able to air what has long been positioned as WWE's second-tier brand. With that expected to change within the next 2 weeks, don't be surprised if and when many of the biggest names you've grown accustomed to seeing on Raw like Lynch and Lesnar move to the Blue brand to give it some momentum on its new home. So, where does that leave Raw? Your guess is as good as any. With Ronda Rousey also expected to end up on SmackDown if and when she does return, that will leave Raw with a core of Seth Rollins, who might move too, in order to be on the same brand as his future wife in Lynch, Sasha Banks. Braun Strowman, AJ Styles and Ricochet among maybe a select few others, to build around unless a few major names move over from SmackDown. Barring someone like Roman Reigns moving back over to Raw, however, most indications are that SmackDown, which could soon be switching to a 3-hour format, is going to come out of this next draft with significantly more star power than Raw. How that will change the landscape of WWE in the long term is to be determined, but in the immediate future, don't be surprised if Raw goes from WWE's No. 1 brand to the forgotten middle child, likely in the blink of an eye. Let's block ads. Why?